Yes. I'm suspecting I just done one name.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you since yesterday, mate.
It's just so exciting to be here. That's why.
We feel the same.
Thank you. All right. Got a letter to the editor up there. It's a bit funny. I must be becoming a bit of an early boomer. Anyway, so kia ora koutou councillors, your worship. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. So I just wanted to talk about intensification, local infrastructure and community funding, particularly with a view on our southwest and in particular Hornby as well. Let's start with cycling. So if we compare this to how we build for cars, we've actually done things completely backwards. Imagine if we built the highways, but we never built the local roads. That's what we've done with cycling. We've built the major cycle routes, but there are almost no local connections to get many people to them. And I don't see any funding for those connections in this draft plan, and that's quite crazy to me. These MCRs have also suffered massive cost blowouts, especially when Kiwi Rail's involved. Yet I haven't heard anyone really publicly challenge that. That is unacceptable. The rail rot needs to stop. Councillors have said we want to focus our rates on projects that will actually be delivered. So I would almost question, why is Wheels to Wings included in this plan, while simple low-cost projects, like simply building the missing footpaths down Dunbar's Road that I asked for last year, or widening them for bikes, multiple people with family to use, get ignored. The cost for delivering these is so much less, and with much less risk. Residents actually want them. How many residents have said, year on year, where are our footpaths? Let's talk about Amherst Road in Hornby. It's falling apart, and it needs a full rebuild, not just a quick resurfacing where we chuck some layer on the top and then, gets all stuck in people's tyres. And we need to think about what kind of street this is becoming as well. There's a new development, around 40 homes, maxed 1, 2 and 3 bedrooms. There's no car parking. There's no garages. There's maybe 4 or 5 spaces for cars out the front. It's over 100 people, but there is nowhere for 100 cars. This is a spatial problem. Intensification is happening, and much of it is happening outside of council's control now. But what is in our hands is how we respond to it. We can't wait 5 or 10 years to figure this out, like we did with the Awatea Amherst Springs Road intersection. There just isn't the room to fit 100 cars, so we need to ask ourselves, what does a functioning, connected Amherst Road and the rest of our communities that are intensifying look like, not just today, but for what's clearly coming at us down the future? Bus services are infrequent, but bikes are coming back on buses, which is common sense. So let's think smart. Let's make South Hornby better connected to the rest of the city, and we'll start with Amherst Road. Probably one of the densest roads in the city, outside of the central. Finally, I just want to speak to community events like Hello Hornby. These aren't just fun. For many people, that's how we stay connected. And just like local sports fields, we're sometimes the only social connection that some people might have outside of work or school that week. If we cut funding for these events, we lose something vital to the fabric of our city. So I urge Council to keep supporting them. So I'll leave you with one question. Are you okay with discreetly funneling $40, $50, $60 million to KiwiRail to address a fanciful 1 in 1,003 year risk, while at the same time talking about cutting essential services that our community value the most, like major events? Ngā mihi.
Thank you. Mark.
Thank you. Your reference to Amy's Road there, you're aware now that it's up for a rebuild instead of any resurfacing?
Yes, and I support that.
And you'd be keen for us to look at future-proofing that while it's been done, I'm sure.
Well, I think it's common sense that we would actually look at what is the intended use of that road in the future, rather than coming through and redoing it again. We know that we've seen, particularly in the development contributions, and I didn't talk to it yesterday, about $50 million worth of asset renewals under that active transport line. Because we're doing a bit of a mix at the same time, right? We're actually saying, hey, here's the new cycleway, and we're going to do the pipes, and we're going to do the road, and every other thing at the same time. We should be thinking about that now, rather than ripping it up again in the future.
Very good. And I heard you talk about missing footpaths as well. You'd be aware of the number of missing footpaths, like Main South Road, Woolworths Corner,
Yep.
Springs Road, down to the motorway, those sorts of things that the community really screams out for?
That's a real problem, but what I struggle with is we're paying, ever more with rates, sure, but as earlier submitters also said, we're paying a lot more actually for development contributions, and I've got no visibility to my community to be able to tell them when are those footpaths coming. We just don't know.
Yep.
It's a lot of money, and I think if, I said to my partner, for example, hey, I want to go and drop 50 million bucks, she'll say, what for? We have to justify the spending if we're collecting that money.
Yep. Also heard you mention briefly there the Awatea Amy Springs intersections. What are your thoughts around that? Is it something we should be putting on as a priority to try and catch up on that?
Again, so we've got a big challenge in our district. That road has traffic increasing rapidly, and it's actually not for the large part because of Christchurch residents. It's people coming from outside our city. They don't pay rates here, and so with that kind of sprawl outside of our district, we have to pay for all of that. Yeah, I support it needs doing, but what I really would not like to see is that we do half of that intersection just like Deans Ave. We need to make sure that if we're going to do that one, again, we do it once and we do it right. We need to have probably, we need to make a common sense decision where we actually just build it and we build it once. You wouldn't have Church Corner, right? And I'm not talking about the controversial part. I'm talking the other one where it's got two sets of lights. You wouldn't do that in two parts. No. You just can't.
Thank you. Thank you, Cody, for coming in. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Okay, Harrison, who has got 15 minutes.